All right, I got my lift in. Excuse the mess in the garage and the destroyed door from the hurricane. But I'm about to see how deep the concrete is. I doubt it's deep enough. Probably gonna have to reinforce it. So here we go. That looks like about 4 inches of concrete. So I'm gonna have to reinforce. Not a huge deal. But yeah, takes a little more time than I thought. So since my concrete wasn't thick enough, I did some research and decided to go with 4 foot by 4 foot squares. This one's not exactly 4 foot. So that's the side wall of the concrete right there on that way. And it should be about 2 foot deep, but I'll see when I cut it up, and if it's not, I'll just cut the rest of the way. But if it is deep enough, I'll tie into it with some rebar and stuff. But my squares, I tried to make them perfectly square because nothing in this shed, whoever built this thing, they didn't exactly build it square. But first time I used Pythagorean theorem outside of high school. That was pretty cool. But anyway, I'm about to chop it up with this and I'll video a little bit. All right, so just to be clear, this isn't for the fucking bullshit ass government created corona. This is for something actually dangerous. Silica dust. That just in case that dusts up. But I got my hose pipe on it. Down the bayou word, hose pipe. Water hose. But yeah, it shouldn't dust up, but just in case. Don't want to get my lungs all fucked up. Round two. I didn't get to finish the first day, which was Sunday, because the blade wore out, and got rained out today from work, so I'm gonna finish off with that second square over there and then return the saw, and maybe this Sunday we'll do some jackhammering. I'm gonna jackhammer these 2 squares and get all the concrete out, and maybe even dig down. And it's go time. All right, all done breaking it up, clearing it out. Now I just gotta dig down to a foot below top of concrete and install rebar. Probably won't get that far today. Definitely won't get that far today, but it's coming along. All right, so I got it dug out a foot deep, leveled out, packed down. The way I checked it was put this level across, certain spots all over. Put the tape measure from the ground to the bottom of the level. As you can see, about a foot. And so me and my wife did that one together. And now I'm about to do this one. Well, we had an accident. I spilled over the wheelbarrow. The weight was uneven. Second hole is done. Next step, gotta hammer drill in some holes for the rebar in the sides and install the rebar, and then I'm ready for concrete. February 13th. I got my holes dug out, and I have my marks to where I have to put rebar going every 8 inches this way, every 6 inches on that side. So, yeah, about to drill. I got my rebar in, and hopefully it's gonna be poured this Saturday. So this is what it looks like. I have a bottom grid that's nice and neat and tied together and sitting on bricks and stuff. And then I have this top grid right here. It's a little ugly, but I mean, it'll work. I've never really done this exact thing before, you know, done similar stuff. So turns out I had too many holes drilled. I was gonna put too much rebar. I guess there's never too much, but it would have been a bitch to just drill through all of it. It was a mangled mess. So I kind of did a little more research and I took some out. So instead of going, say, I guess 5 by 7. Yeah, 5 by 7 is what I was gonna do. I'm 3 by 3 or 4 on this side, just because certain things didn't line up. You know, I had rebar that was kind of running into each other right here if I'd have went to that first hole. So yeah, this is what I came out with. So I had a guy come check it out to see about pouring some concrete in it, and he said it looked good. He did a similar job for another company that's putting up a lift, and he said this is more than enough. So I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, hopefully Saturday this is all gonna be poured and I'll be good to go pretty soon. Concrete is poured. Gotta wait about 2 to 3 weeks before installation, and then I'll be good to go. So in the meantime, I get all my licenses and, you know, LLCs going, stickers and business cards and whatever else I need, materials, and that way once I install, I'm gonna be ready to go. Last night, with the help of like 9 friends, we picked up the lifts, moved them from right here to right here, kind of to where I could just stand them up and put them in the squares that I marked out last night. And I'm in the process of cleaning out the garage, so that stuff is getting sold or thrown. And then this is gonna be clear. So yep. So we got the cable lines ran. So it came pre-installed right here and goes up to the pulley, down, and then it was loose. So we had to run it from this side all the way over here, up through the bottom, and then as you see, put that nut on the bottom, and that one on the top. We're gonna tighten it later. Same thing on this side, ran it to this side, and did the same thing here. So we had to take the cables back out so we could hook up the hydraulic line right there, and gotta lift up this side and do the same thing, and then we'll put the cables back. So if you're doing that, step one is get the hydraulic lines hooked up, then the cables. So in order to know how deep you're drilling, you measure out, say 5. I'm going a little deeper than 5, but you measure out, right? 5.5 inches. If you have this right here, you pull that out to whatever measurement you want. If you don't have that, no problem. You can mark it with a marker or a piece of tape. Either way would work. And then you go down to that mark. Got one bolt hole drilled. I hit some rebar, but luckily I had thought about hitting rebar, so I got metal cutting bits. So it went smooth. Time to install that. Just drilled that hole. Drilling to like 4 3/4 inches. No, sorry. We're drilling to 5 inches deep to cover this and this. So get your washers on and your nut on. And take that. Put it. Get you a hammer. Drive. Try not to destroy your lift with the hammer on the backlash, you know. Oh, it's like that. I think that's good. On that last hole, we experienced a little difficulty and we didn't know what it was. Well, just, you know, always make sure your hammer drills in forward, not reverse. Most don't even have a forward or reverse, it's just forward, but this one does. So don't accidentally switch it. All right, so after about an hour and a half of drilling this one, that one, and that one right there, we finally got it. And my tip to y'all would be, if you hit rebar, go slow down your drill a little bit and apply less pressure. Because if you do too much pressure, high RPMs, it'll burn out the bit like I did. And then you have to take a smaller bit right here and do a pilot hole and then go with your bigger bit, and it still takes a long time. So go ahead, pop these in. I still have to put the shims in, put some hydraulic fluid, put on the control panel and the legs. But I got the holes drilled, I got the bolts in. It was a pain in the ass because I hit a bunch of rebar. It took a long ass time. I would finish today, but I got shit to do for 75 hard. So I'm gonna work on it throughout the week because I'm gonna be working close to the house. But yeah, this is the progress right here. So now it's time to install these into the panel that goes across on the floor. And so what I'm gonna do, I will measure. I ran the nut to the pretty much the top of the bolt, and then I'll measure how far it is. It's looking like about 2.5. I'm gonna drill it down that deep, and might even go a little deeper just to make sure it goes deep enough. Because if you don't, and then you go to thread the bolt on, what it's gonna do is pull this piece up and flare that in out right there, and I don't want it to stick up past the threads. I want the threads to be down low. Tighten that up. For this, I have a 1/2 inch bit, and I'm just guessing on the size there because all the instructions came in millimeters. Damn Chinese communist shit. I tried to order American. I ordered from an American company, but the instructions were in millimeters, so I'm guessing the lift ain't made here. Anyway, I got a 9/16 bit if the 1/2 inch is too small. Measure this part out if you have a drill with this little handy thing right there. You're gonna put the drill in and measure from the plate on up, whatever you want, 2.5, 3. So that looks about good. I wound up having to go with the 9/16 bit. So what you do is you just take that after you're done drilling. Make sure your nut and your washer's on. And then slide it right in. It's not gonna go all the way down. So you're gonna wanna tap it. Nice and easy. Make sure your nut's on for that part, because you could mess up the threads. Run it up like that. And the more you run it, the tighter it should get. There you go. That's done. Now we're gonna level it. So we just gotta slap some wedges on this side and maybe a little bit on this side.
Hey, did these cables come already installed?
Yeah.
Like this one right here?
Yeah, they came already installed.
I think we put the nuts in wrong.
Why?
Because this one's double nutted. It's supposed to be on top.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. So lesson learned. You don't put one below. See how that one's below? You gotta put both of them on top. We'll fix that here in a bit. As soon as we get those leveled, then we'll deal with the cables. So we don't have enough shims, and we also need some hydraulic fluid. So we're gonna go to the store, the local hardware store. Hopefully they have something. And yeah, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back from the hardware store. We went to like 3 different stores to find this shit, but I got 4 different size shims. So hopefully we're good. And I got a 5-gallon bucket of O'Reilly brand AW32 hydraulic oil. All right, time to get it. This side is a little bit off level, and we're gonna put the shims that came with it underneath. We don't need the bigger ones. All right. It's pretty fucking close, dude. Maybe one of them real thin ones and then those on top. Cause I mean, barely off. Let's check this way.
This part needs a bigger shim.
That way is good. Okay. Now, good this way. Good this way. All right, time to torque them down. All right, time to torque it to spec. I have a big motherfucking torque wrench. It goes up to 600 foot-pounds. We don't need nearly that much. We're gonna use about 150 max, because I looked it up because my instructions don't say shit about the torque specs. So I'm gonna go with what the forums say, which is between 110 and 150. So we're gonna torque it in, I'm gonna torque it to 100, then about 120, and 140, 150, something like that. So we have one problematic bolt right here. As you can see, it's loose. So what I need to do is pull it out, get some epoxy, put it in, hammer it back down, torque it to spec. The only problem with that is all the stores are closed because it's Sunday at 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. So I'm gonna have to wait to get some epoxy till tomorrow after work. But I'm gonna see if I can get that thing out today. I forgot to video this whole part, but so we ended up pulling that bolt out because it was messed up. And so we needed some kind of epoxy, concrete epoxy, and all the hardware stores were closed, and I wanted to get it done today. So went to Walmart, and they had some JB Weld Farlight concrete and shit. So I got that, put it in, mixed it up, and put the bolt in. Now if you do that, you're gonna catch some resistance because of, you know, there's like air pockets and shit in there. When you go to slide the bolt down, it's gonna like be a little tough. So just, you know, push it in nice and easy, tap it in with a hammer, preferably you know, like a little maul or something. Get it all the way down. I'm gonna let it cure overnight. I'm gonna torque it down tomorrow. And yeah, so the next step would be probably hydraulic lines. I'll probably hook up the hydraulic lines, put the motor on its bracket right here, and then set the cables and maybe see if it lifts up. I'm not gonna lift anything till I put that bolt on tight and torque down. All right, yeah, got this piece bolted up. It was simple. They have this bracket here, so you got 4 bolts, 2 on each side. Pretty easy. It doesn't come with the wire, so I got my sister's boyfriend, who is an electrician, to hook it up. So yeah, I'm gonna end up running this up there, back down this pole to that plug. All right, next step is hook up this hydraulic line. What you're gonna do is you take this piece out, hook up the hydraulic line there, and then the bottom goes here. And then you have some little brackets. They are going to go there and there. Oh, I was wrong. It hooks up here. The hydraulic hose hooks up there, not at the bottom. That's probably to drain it. Got the cable set. The instructions said to come up with these equally to 800 millimeters, which in American Freedom Bald Eagle terms is 31.5 inches. Luckily we lifted it freaking right on the money first try, and ran the cables. Now the instructions aren't clear at all on a lot of things, but one of the things it's not clear on is how tight to put the cables. So I looked up a few videos and all that stuff. It's in the instructions, it says at equal I'll go with this one. Okay. The instruction says like tighten them all equally, right? Which is fucking, thanks a lot for nothing. So I just went pretty tight. Not horribly tight, but we're gonna fill that with hydraulic fluid and see how this thing rolls. And we'll get back to you on that. All right, time to plug her in and see. See what it does. Probably draining the air out of the system. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll get back with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have lift off. So, just like anything else in this thing, the company wanted to be difficult and put snap rings on it. That's pliers. Luckily. hammer.
Hopefully.
Just finger.
Yeah. Wipe my fingers.
We're professionals now. See, we messed up on the first one, now we got the second one. And then take your snap ring and put it right back on. Simple. Nice and easy. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Good. Now, what you want to do is you have to adjust this back. Take your, whatever size that is, or a crescent wrench for that right there. Push it back. It's gonna go into there to stop it from moving back and forth. When you don't want it there, when you want to move it free, when you got your next car up, you put it like that. Boom. Alright, that's good. The epoxy should be set. Now I'm gonna torque it to 125 foot-pounds. And thank the good Lord. Up just a little bit to where it's touching the frame. Lift it up a little bit, check it, and then I'm gonna come up about a foot. So here we go. Okay, so all the bolts look good. And the truck has not collapsed off of the lift. So I'm gonna go ahead and lift it all the way up as high as I can go for overnight. I could fit under it. I was kind of worried because my shop's only like 12 feet and I'm 6 foot, so a little worried about clearance, but it's pretty good. I could comfortably work on exhaust and whatever else, and maybe hit my head a few times, but it'll be all right. Really happy on how it turned out. I'm checking again tomorrow after work, make sure it didn't fall or explode. And I'd like to thank everyone that's helped me on this, my father-in-law, my dad, my friends, my wife, anybody that's helped me. And it was a difficult process. Without them, it would have been even more difficult. So thank you. And also thank you to the viewers. I'm really excited on opening my shop, Apex Performance, and I can't wait to see where it brings me. So if you like this video, subscribe, like, share, and thank you.